Join me, John Randall, at the North American Banking Company Minnesota Golf Show, February 13th through the 15th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Test your skills in the long putt contest for a shot at a $100,000 prize package. Plus, try the latest gear from top manufacturers and get free lessons from local PGA pros. Don't miss it.
Tickets on sale now at mngolfshow.com. Save $3 with advance purchase. Each ticket includes 14 free greens fee passes at area courses. Learn more at mngolfshow.com. This is the Weekly Scramble, a place where we chat about life over a cold one or two. It's time to belly up to the pod with Mike Fratelloni and your host, Chris Reavers.
That's right. It's time for the Weekly Scramble podcast. My name is Chris Reavers. With me, as always, his name is Mike Fratelloni. Hello, Michael.
How you doing, Reavers?
I'm doing okay, hanging in there. But you know what? Usually we end the segment with an ad, but I want to start with one because of where we're going to go here in this particular first segment.
Deep show.
North American Banking Company, they have been with this show for a long time, and we're so fortunate to have them here with us. And you know what? It's banking done differently, and you'll get that feeling because I'm firsthand knowledge. I'm telling you right now, I've been a customer of North American Banking Company and the Bilski crew for quite some time, and they're fantastic. Banking done differently. You see that online at nabankco.com. You also see that at their 6 Twin Cities locations. Whether it's Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, Maple Grove, 50th in France, and Roseville, they're offered all of the same online and mobile banking options as those other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home or finance a new home renovation project, they have got you taken care of. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Yesterday was one of those days, and I want to start it a little bit differently. We talked about the shooting that sadly a young woman lost her life at the hands of law enforcement, particularly an ICE federal agent. And I probably have a different stance than most because I want to be sympathetic to the situation because this was a mother of 3. Mm-hmm. This is someone who had just moved here from the state of Colorado for whatever reason. I don't know if it was job related. I'm not exactly sure. But I guess the way I want to phrase it is like this. And again, we're applying the Joe Souchere 48-hour rule. We're over 24 now. We have learned more in the past 24 hours, but we don't know the whole story. But I guess the main thing I want to say is if a law enforcement official tells you to get out of the car or stop or whatever, listen to that law enforcement agent. Mm-hmm. And the way to avoid getting shot by a federal ICE agent, the number one way you can avoid getting shot by a federal ICE agent is don't put yourself in that position to begin with. And again, that's going to be an unpopular opinion. You can email me if you'd like. And I know everyone that has listened to me over the years knows I am the son of a retired LEO. But I guess so. I'm a bit biased. And I've always been transparent with that. But the point I'm trying to make is don't put yourself in that position, because what I don't understand, and we've seen countless videos, and we can talk about, by the way, I'm certainly willing to talk about the tact and the approach by these agents, because I do think that there is a bit of theater involved with this. That all being said, they're not here because we don't have problems. That's why they're here, because we do have problems. But my point, getting back to this this woman that lost her life yesterday, if you don't put yourself in that position, that's not something then you're ultimately going to have to worry about. You weren't under the subject of an immigration. Like, you were here in this country legally.
Yeah, you weren't being
They weren't coming after you. They were telling you to, whether the instruction was to get out of here or get out of the vehicle, whatever instruction that was, you followed neither of those. And does that mean that this guy gets to pull the trigger? Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. But by putting yourself in that position, you increasingly risk the chance of something bad happening. I guess that's the way I want to phrase it.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate on so many levels, Chris.
Yeah.
didn't need to happen.
It didn't need to happen. Not one part of it needed to happen.
And we're 24 hours in.
Yep.
I don't expect a protester to get shot.
No.
I don't expect a protester's car to lunge at an officer. I don't expect an officer to get rolled over just because he's an officer,
right?
Without there being consequences to it, right? I don't believe an officer has to get rolled over and say, "Well, I got rolled over, but she's okay. I didn't have to kill her." And whether she would have rolled him over or not, those are split-second decisions. I don't like the video, Chris. I don't like it.
I watched 3 different angles. I didn't like any of them. And I agree with you. Sorry if you were going to say more. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nothing seemed clear to me.
Yeah.
Nothing seemed, oh my God, that was 100% XYZ's fault. I didn't see that.
And I asked aloud earlier today, because I don't know the answer to this question, if these federal ICE agents wear the same body cam style footage as, like a Minneapolis police officer would. I don't know the answer to that.
That answer either.
And I don't even know if they're subject to, if this particular officer was wearing that camera, is that video going to be released, if there is a video to begin with? And I guess, but my point is, one of the things that has really bothered me, I'm not talking about yesterday specifically. That is not what I'm talking about. Since this administration took office, almost a year ago, one of the things that's really bothered me is, and this was a focal point of the Trump administration, that we were going to crack down on immigration, on immigration integrity. And you know what? I've been fine with a lot of that. But the problem that I'm having is the way that the American public, sorry, not all of them, but a certain section of the American public is reacting to that, where you'll see videos of Karen getting in her car and chasing down ICE agents, or ramming her vehicle or their vehicle into an ICE agent. What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to do? Well, because now all you're doing is you're now interjecting yourself into a situation that never involved you. You don't have a role in that particular effort to, and again, and I've said this, and I argue with some of my brethren on the GL podcast about this. You have no idea who's being detained, and you have no idea why that person is being detained. For all we know, that person that you're trying to prevent ICE from apprehending, they could be guilty of some of the most horrific acts
was guilty
known
of
to
murder
man.
and child rape.
Yes.
You might not want to be on their side.
I'll never forget the video. It was a woman it was either Tennessee or Kentucky. I don't remember. And this was a couple of months ago. And she is in her 4-door Lexus sedan, and she's chasing down an ICE agent. This is a woman in her, I would say, early 40s. It's the middle of the day, so I'm going to assume that she either doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom, doesn't work, or she was on her lunch break, because it was in the middle of the day during the week. And I'm thinking, why? Why are you making it your point to be that person that's got to intervene? That's not your job to do that. You have every right, if you'd like to express your opinion, whether it's social media, to protest. That is absolutely right. Once you interfere with a federal operation, now you're in trouble. And sadly, in the case of yesterday, the woman lost her life. And I'm just thinking, why don't people get that? Sorry, Mike, I'm going to let you go here in a second. The biggest thing and the biggest point I was trying to make earlier in GL today, and it not that it fell on deaf ears, but I think it was worth expanding upon more, which is why I want to bring it up with you. There's so many people roaming amongst us in our society right now, whether it's kids, whether it's juveniles, whether it's adults. They seem to think that actions don't have consequences. We see kids that are behaving terribly in schools, and what happens for the most part? Either slap on the wrist, or they're pretty much, we've seen kids in Minneapolis. They might get arrested, and it's a turnstile because they get just taught. Well, they know nothing's going to happen to them. The idea that if you misbehave, nothing's going to happen to you, that needs to come to an end, because that is leading to over 90% of the problems that is plaguing this country currently. Floor's yours.
So I kind of want to take this back to the psyche of this Renee Nicole Good. She's a mother of a few children.
3, I believe.
A mother of 3, 2 or 3.
I believe that that's correct.
She's married. She has a partner. She's loved by people. She says she's a writer and a poet, and she feels for people. She's a genuine person, 37 years old,
Yep.
right? She's a young woman at 37 years old. What is happening in her mind that she says, I'm going to chase down and stalk and block ICE agents with my car? I'm trying to think of a scenario, Chris, that I would become passionate enough to do something. Am I blocking XYZ? Well, I can't think of a scenario where I'd say I'm willing to take the ultimate risk. The ultimate risk. Do you think she understood that this wasn't a game of you're going to be arrested, but it could be a game of you're going to be killed? Do you think she understood that?
I don't. And it goes back to what I said earlier to answer your question. Were you done? I'm really trying to be careful.
I want to make this super clear. I don't want her to die. I did not want her to die.
Of course not.
I don't want anybody to die. But what inside of her heart was saying, I need to hop in my car, leave my kids at home. I don't know. Her kids could be 25 years old. I have no idea.
Yep.
Leave my kids, and I'm going to go chase down ICE vehicles. What propelled her to that?
Yep.
What made her get off of her couch, grab her keys, hop in her car, and say, we are going to, the best we can, block ICE agents? I can't fathom a day. I can't fathom a reason, Reavers, that I would go do that. What led to her belief that that was the scenario she had to go put herself into?
Yep.
Until we answer that, all of the other stuff you said is going to be hard to fix. Until we say, what compelled you? Was it the internet? Was it hyperbole? Was it lies? Was it just compassion that you and I may not have? What was it that made this woman get up and go do that?
There's a certain level of compassion that I will agree with, but it's also another level of arrogance, and I'll tell you why. It goes back to what I said earlier. It's the lack of fear of consequence. Mm-hmm. That's what this is. It's because, go to any college campus. They're protesting on behalf of Palestine. Mm-hmm. Are you not adding 2 and 2 together? Mm-hmm. And that's, I guess, what I'm getting at is this is a person who most likely had, and again, has a good heart, has probably all of the right things in place, but you didn't think that this might result in something bad happening, and at the very least, you could have been arrested? Well, what did you just prove? And maybe, by the way, in some cases where we see the people protesting and people trying, we saw it all morning, right? At the federal building. Some of these kids or some of these people, I don't want to just keep saying kids. Some of these people absolutely want to get arrested. Mm-hmm. So they can say, look at what I'm doing. I'm voicing for a change. And I'm just thinking, okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's reset. Let's regroup, because I have a deeper thought, and I want to run it by you, because it occurred to me when I was driving here to work this morning. That's Mike Fratellini. My name is Chris Reavers. This is the Weekly Scramble podcast, and we will be right back.
Who doesn't love this time of year? Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Underdog is so easy, you just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. If you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So many great players to choose from this time of season, but the way I look at it, I think Matthew Stafford to go higher on yards passing is always a good way for me to go, and Saquon Barkley's a nice pick to go higher on rushing yards. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
All right, let's talk about We Are Nuts. WeAreNutsMN.com. Joe was gifted, by the way, a sweet tin this morning, during the show today, of the jumbo cashews and the milk chocolate almonds.
Where did he take those?
Oh, yeah, they're not here.
He took them away.
I literally got one chocolate almond and the tin got taken away. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm more than happy to share.
It's good to be king.
It really is. But you can walk into any one of your Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores locations, Max Hardware, Lunds and Barley's, Kowalski's Markets, Cub Foods, Quick Trip, and now available at Coburn's. It's a wonderful family-run operation with great handcrafted snacks made right here in the great state of Minnesota, and we are so happy to have them aboard the Weekly Scramble podcast. And you know what? If you want to see for yourself, check them out online. It's WeAreNutsMN.com. You can see their entire lineup on their website, and you can also purchase that stuff online as well. Again, WeAreNutsMN.com. Place your order and let them know that you heard about them on the Weekly Scramble podcast. All right, let's go back to what happened yesterday. So yesterday morning, I've been kind of out of my normal routine with stuff with kids in school and things like that. So I've had to make some extra stops along the way. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to get into that right now. And I noticed yesterday morning, I was heading to the radio station. I would say it was around 9 a.m. I'm not joking. You ready? Mm-hmm. I counted 17 different law enforcement vehicles. I'm not talking State Patrol. I'm not talking Scott County, where I live. I'm not talking about Shakopee Police Department. I'm talking, that's an unmarked squad with its lights on. And I also saw 2 helicopters roaming, where you could tell.
We had 2,000 agents into this market. That's a lot of people.
And this morning again, I saw another, was it 7, 8? I lost track because one of them, I was on, I probably shouldn't say where I was. I was northbound and I was trying to come here. And this guy darted in front of me and I went, well, what? And the lights went on. I'm like, am I getting pulled over?
Were you trying to block him?
But no, not at all. Not at all. I was northbound in the right lane, not a left lane hogging jackass like so many people are on this particular highway. But I was in the right lane, and I could tell like something was coming up behind me in my left lane. So I was in the right lane. I was about to get off on a certain highway that were to come here, and this guy darted in front of me, and his lights went on, and I went, oh my goodness, what? I'm barely going over the speed limit. Well, he was pulling over the minivan that was in front of me.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, and it was an ICE squad car. And so I went, oh boy, like these guys ain't messing around. Here's my point. My point is, there is some theatrics to it. I am not in any way going to disagree with it. And quick aside, I did notice 3 different wardrobe changes for Kristi Noem yesterday.
Okay.
She had the morning outfit, she did have the afternoon outfit, and she did have the evening outfit. And by the way, I was fine with all 3 of them.
Kind of like Cher, maybe.
Or a Taylor Swift concert.
Taylor Swift,
yes.
Elton John.
And I just want to be formally on record saying I approved of all 3 of them.
Okay.
And I think there was another one that I didn't see, but I don't care. I still approved of that one as well.
Her nighttime outfit.
Right. Oof. So I am in no way disagreeing that there is some theatrics to this. There is
theatrics?
I'm going to get there. There is some agenda-driven theatrics to this so that we can formulate the presence. But the overriding message is this. They're not here by accident. They're not here because the state, everything is on the up and up and everything's running smoothly. They're here because this freaking state has been robbed blind of billions and billions of dollars. And oh, by the way, The people robbing the state of billions and billions of dollars aren't Tom Smith from Inver Grove Heights.
Yeah, but they're not
no
illegal
offense
aliens
to Tom Smith
either.
from Inver Grove Heights.
They're not illegal aliens.
Some of them are, though.
Some of them are, but the vast majority of them are not.
But when you are here from another country, you are operating on the assumption that you are going to be a law-abiding citizen.
100%. I agree.
Once you violate that, you are in violation of your immigration status. That's how it works.
Totally get it. You don't think there's kids of immigrants that are naturalized citizens, that not naturalized, born here in America, that are full Americans that committed those crimes? 100% they did. 100% they did. I'm not saying this is such a confusing thing. Let me ask you one question, because this is a real thing. Did you guys talk about the ICE agent who actually shot her?
Joe did pretty much at length at the very beginning of the show.
So we talked that the ICE agent who opened fire in Minneapolis.
We did not name that agent in case it is named now.
I'm not going to name him. Last year was dragged 100 yards by an illegal immigrant in Minnesota last June after his arm was trapped inside the vehicle during a traffic stop.
Wait a minute. Are you serious, Clark?
Yeah, so the ICE agent, this is according to the New York Post, and I had heard this from other sources. The ICE agent who opened fire in Minneapolis Wednesday was dragged 100 yards by an illegal immigrant in Minnesota last June after his arm was trapped inside the vehicle. So they were trying to do a routine traffic stop last year. The person, his name is Munoz, refused to exit the vehicle. This agent put his arm in, and the Munoz drove off, was dragged 100 yards. Do you think, and this is us pretending we know the inner psyche of some agent.
Did that enter in his realm of thinking?
Do you think he said, I'm not doing that again?
Right.
I'm not going to get dragged. And he didn't have his arm in her window when he shot and killed her. But do you think there was any, I'm not trying to excuse this.
No, but that's an angle, Mike, I did not know about.
But if you had that experience before, like, oh, she's going to drive over me.
Interesting.
Or drag my body. I'm not saying that's an excuse, Reavers. I'm not saying
Of course not.
I'm
no.
saying that something in the man's psyche would have said, this can't happen again. This can't happen again. And would you be more inclined to use force, greater than saying, hey, stop? Right? It's a really scary.
Interesting.
One thing I think when we experience these things and we see them and we replay the video 50 times to get every nuance, well, when someone's doing this live, there is no replaying. He had 3 or 4 seconds. The gal, Miss Good, had 2 or 3 seconds to figure out what was going on before she was killed. It's like, what? How do we diffuse this? How do we?
I can help you answer that, because that's where I was going to go next.
And I know your answer is don't do it.
No.
Don't follow ICE agents.
It's bigger than that.
So, okay, go ahead. Tell me how you do this.
It's bigger than that on this level. What would really help things is, and I'm going to get to the big guy here in a minute, it would really help things if the mayor of the city of Minneapolis doesn't get to a podium, into a microphone, where he knows the entire world is going to see him say, get the F out of my city or our city. That doesn't help matters.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't help when the governor of the state of Minnesota gets to a podium, gets in front of a microphone, and starts basically picking at President Trump, which is what he has been campaigning against until he finally realized he's a failed loser that should drop out of the race. That's my words, not anybody else's. That doesn't help matters. It also doesn't help matters that the president is also we've got to stop having people in positions of power tossing diesel fuel on the campfire. We need the opposite of that. We need the opposite of that. We need people to actually be adults and be an elected official, whether it's Fry, whether it's Walz, and by the way, whether it's Trump in some cases. With the Hortman stuff he tweeted over, this is a completely different story. That doesn't help things, Donald.
No, it was disgusting.
And in a situation like this, just let whoever you've assigned, Noam, whoever, let them handle the job. You don't need to add, because he knows, or he has got to know, that anything he says is only going to fuel the madness. He's got to understand that.
Well, I think he actually said at the beginning, I'm not sure, one of his tweets was, at the beginning said, wow, what a sad event. This should have never happened, right?
Yep.
Could have stopped there. He could have stopped there.
He could have.
What do you think if you were Mayor Fry and you did not want ICE in the city of Minneapolis, right? Because Mayor Fry said, hey, we're a sanctuary city. We don't need ICE here. These people are our neighbors, friends, family, whatever he believes. What do you think he should have said when this news broke? I think what he said, personally, was embarrassing. He should have never used that word.
Nope.
He should have never said that. He could have said, this is what happens when ICE is in our town. You can't do that, ICE. You weren't invited in to do that, right? He really blew it. I think he lost a lot by saying that. What do you think he should have said?
I think what he should have said is basically being sympathetic for the poor woman that lost her life and saying, which, by the way, this will never happen. He will never go in front of a microphone and say, we're willing to work with federal agents, but they're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. Why aren't they going to do that? Because it's going to upset their constituency. It's going to upset the people that would most likely vote for them. And that's what I'm so tired of. Be a leader. Don't be just a leader for a certain section of the people that might vote for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm tired of that. And again, I'm talking at the city, state, and federal level. I'm tired of that.
Be a leader.
Be a representative of all of us. Mm-hmm. And we don't have that anymore, especially in this state. You mentioned sanctuary city, and I'm glad you did. And Kristi Noem and Walz somewhat traded back and forth shots. And Noem said, I spoke to Governor Walz, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically said, they aren't assisting us. They're not helping us. And she didn't say this, but basically from the optics of what I saw, they're standing in the way. Well, that's also not helping matters. And when you are a sanctuary city, which we are, right? What's happened? We have been robbed blind. There is fraud everywhere. And so finally, at least someone has offered to come here and do something about it. Now, are they that's probably a different subject. Are they going about it the right way? I don't even know what the right answer is. Because guess why? That's not my job. I don't know what the right answer is.
Let me ask you this. Let's get clinical on the cold, hard facts of this, right? The cold, hard, not facts of her death. Let's get clinical on who wins from this. I know this is a disgusting thing to say.
No, but
it's disgusting. What side of the political spectrum wins when this poor girl dies? Do Republicans across the United States say, hey, tough luck, F around and find out, that's what happens, toots? Or do Democrats really bond together and say, they're killing us now? They're killing us. ICE is killing us. The Donald Trump mass exodus of illegal immigrants. Now ICE agents are killing us. Who wins this particular, I'm going to call it a PR incident. It was something way more than that. Again, I'm talking clinically. I'm talking without emotion, and I know that's impossible to do because that's rude to do to this poor girl that died. And it's rude to do to the officer whose life is going to be horrific from here on out.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Who benefits from this, if someone can benefit from it?
Mike, I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody does. And I'm going to say why no one benefits. Look at what's happening. We are more divided than we have ever been in the history of this country. Well, not the history, but we're more divided, at least since I've been paying attention on this scale. We're more divided than we've ever been. And I don't even know that it's going to be possible for the two sides to come together. We often say if 9/11 were to happen today, which I think was the last time we really were unified. And we weren't unified for long, but we were unified. And now what would happen is it would just be a game of finger pointing. That's all it would be. And that's why I've had such a problem with this, because for those of you that either took the day off of work to go protest or whatever your life circumstances are, that's fine. That's what makes this country great is you have that right. But I'm so tired of people burying their head in the sand and thinking that there isn't a problem going on right now. There's a massive problem. Okay. This is historic what's happening.
I'm going to ask our listeners. We've been getting a lot of feedback on our last few shows, right? A lot of emails. I want to ask the people that are listening to this show, because we have thousands of people some real bright people listen to this show.
A lot smarter than us.
A lot smarter than us. If you were tasked, listener, if you were tasked to take this tragedy and turn it into something positive, if it was your goal to say, how do we become closer after an event like this, instead of more divided, what would you do? What would you do? Will you please send us your thoughts? Because I'm at a loss. You're definitely at a loss, right? You have never seen us more divided. I think a scenario like this, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's, I keep going back to this concept of self-deportation, right?
Yeah.
Where we can go ahead and have ICE come into town, 2,000 ICE agents, probably $10,000 a day per every ICE agent to be here, right? It's probably a fortune.
Do you think that's what it is?
It's got to be. Hotels, the pay, risk. Now with this girl dying, it's going to be infinitely bigger than that, right? The true costs of ICE agents coming here. And I'm talking globally, holistically, the cost of it. The mental breakdown, the fabric of society, all of that. Or could we say, if you self-deport, we give you $20,000.
Well, didn't we do that?
We did it. We did it in a small way. If you self-deport in January, you get $20,000. If you self-deport in February, you get $15,000. If you self-deport in March, you get $10,000. And you walk it right down. Do you think?
Wait, would that apply? Can I? Can
you I get that that's expensive, right? I get that that's expensive. Would it be better than what's going on today? Would it be better to pay people to leave than? And then if they ever come back, once we've paid you, if you ever come back, you're just locked up. That's it. You're going to jail.
But you know what? I'll help you answer that. Because someone, I won't name this particular person, but I was having a conversation when the federal funding was cut off. That was last week, right, for various programs. And this person, I'm just going to leave. This is a person that knows what they're talking about. And this person said, watch.
They're going to leave now?
They're going to leave.
Yeah.
When the funding goes away, either the people that are really, truly trying to be Minnesotan, right? They want their kids to go to a really great school, Minneapolis school, and mom and dad are either mom is staying home, dad's working, or vice versa, or they're both working and whatever, right? Like they're really trying hard to become Minnesotans for a better life for their family. Like those are the people we absolutely want to be here, regardless of where you came from.
Legally,
and you're here. But once the funding goes away, you're going to see the people that are going to say, "Well,
I'm out of here.
My check is gone. Well, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm either going to find a different sanctuary city or I'm going to head back. Well, whatever it is. But that's the problem that I and so many have is, okay, we understand a lot of these programs are necessary and needed, but at the same time, we can't continue to operate this way. It's not sustainable. And not only is it not sustainable, this is going to implode to a great proportion. In fact, we're teetering on it as we speak again, which is why this is happening.
So
to begin with.
If you believe that's the case, then we need answers. And I'm being dead serious when we're asking our listeners. My email, Mike at Garage Logic, right? And
or
yours,
Frat Pack Facebook page.
Or the Frat Pack Facebook page.
C. Reavers at GarageLogic.com.
at GarageLogic.com. Send us your thoughts on how we take something like this, a tragedy like this, and somehow turn it into a positive. Someone out there has the answer.
That's Mike Fratelloni. I'm Chris Reavers. This is the Weekly Scramble Podcast, and we will be right back. I actually meant to get to this a lot sooner. Let me just make a quick note here, Michael. First, let's talk about our buddy Ben with Masters Maples at mastersmaples.com. Okay, Rookie is such an ass.
Did he take all
No. He bragged about the bacon he made. And you know what he did? He had the 100% pure maple sugar, and he sprinkled it across the pan with the bacon and then baked it. So the maple sugar was baked into the thick cut bacon.
That sounds good.
I hate him so much that I'm going to now try this over the weekend because that's when it's bacon time.
The house would smell good too because it's like bacon, which smells good, but sweet bacon.
Oh, it's the absolute best. I did do the maple syrup with the bacon. This would have been 2 Sundays ago. It was Christmas break because the boys didn't have basketball that day. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's the best 100% pure maple syrup that Minnesota has to offer. It's our buddy Ben, a proud frat packer, proud GLer. He's the absolute best. But in addition to the best maple syrup, the sweet and savory seasonings and rubs are fantastic. I use them over the holidays, and my turkey was received. Oh my God. I got the best reviews ever with my turkey. Oh my God, what's your secret? I go, extensive labor. I mean, oh my God, I just
been working so hard.
It's just a grind. I'm like, well, no, Ben did it for me. What are you talking about? Anyway, go online, mastersmaples.com, and you can place your order. There's gift packs available. You could also go to your Fratelloni's Hardware.
Every one of our stores have huge displays with the sugars, with the spices, with the syrups. We got them all.
It's kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, it is.
So when you go get your brand new Weber grill, grab some savory and seasoning rub to go with it. But it's a wonderful product made right here in
If you buy a Weber grill, I'm going to go ahead and give you a bottle of the Masters Maple.
That's on you?
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and if you buy a $1,000 grill or bigger, I'll give you the sample size.
Not $9.99, you cheap ass.
No, it's got to be $1,000 more. But I'll give you that little tiny sample bottle absolutely for free. Don't say I'm not generous. Reavers.
You are
Don't
the best.
say I'm not generous.
All right. So mastersmaples.com, taste the difference. Thank you, Ben. You're the best. All right. I wanted to get to this a little bit sooner, but I'm actually kind of glad it's coming towards the end of the show. I want to talk about Governor Walz for a second. And, when he decided he was going to step out of the race for re-election, he was going to focus on Minnesota. I'd like to say, well, it's about freaking time.
And focus on fraud.
No, but it's okay. Well, it's about time because when you were running for vice president, no one saw you here in the state for months. Again, I know I have Walz derangement syndrome. I'm well aware of that.
You're fully aware.
I really do. I know. But for this disingenuous clown to start that campaign about how right now my office is solely focused on fraud. Well, okay, where were you for the last 5 years doing this? And it's been proven that people went to your office with fraud and they were rejected and turned down, and in some cases bullied for threats of losing their job. So I'm glad you're getting to it, Walz. You're a true hero. Fraud. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is for him yesterday, and this happened after Garage Logic. And actually, I was in here with Jay and Kenny to try to help get their show done. And by the way, great show. They had former Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek on. It was a really good show. I encourage you to listen.
The
Krabby Coffee Shop show. But for Walz, because I was watching it in the other room, but for Walz to get up and start talking about how he is really thinking about deploying the National Guard in anticipation of protests. I wish there was a microphone in that room for the things I was saying. I'm sorry. So when the city was on fire for weeks.
And you didn't even say anything.
And you did nothing.
Didn't even crack a microphone.
And had the balls to say, well, it's mostly peaceful protests. The pawn shop that's 5 blocks from here burned to the ground. The city smelled like burning. Well, his wife, Gwen. Oh, I like to have the windows open so I could smell the burning tires. Like, what planet are you on, Governor Walz?
You want to know the saddest thing?
That you just let me one thing because I really want to get to you here. But for him to say that just proves how stupid he thinks the Minnesota voting public is, and I'm not being facetious. That's how out of touch he is with the average Minnesotan. And by the way, how scared. I'm not going to go down that road. It really, really upset me because I was one of the people back then, because you and I had to take a hiatus from COVID with our show. But I was one of the people, and again, I didn't mind it. I love my job and whatever. I was one of the few people that came into work every day. I didn't have the option of working from home. And there was a stretch where, my wife works at a hospital. She had to go into work every day. So it's like, we got a 6 and a 6 grade. Well, how are we going to do this? Anyway, that's not my point. My point is, for him to do that angered me so freaking much. Because again, it just proves he just is going to gaslight the American or the Minnesota public and just think he's going to get away with it. He and his party are going to get away with it. It made me so mad. The floor is yours.
So what day did he tell everybody he was not going to run again? Was that Monday?
It was Monday. Well, we had rumors had started to surface late Sunday, but
night.
he officially announced it Monday morning.
Was it Blois Olson who came out and said...
I believe Blois did break the story.
Yeah, he kind of broke the story.
Yep.
If this would have happened on Monday, you know who would still be running for governor right now?
Tim Walz.
Because a story like this can literally trump the fraud story for 2 more months till people stop thinking about it. And you know who'd be our next governor again, Reavers?
Oh, my God.
Think about that. He was one a couple of days, right? Because this happened yesterday. So 2 days different. If he would have even known that 2,000 ICE agents were coming to town, he would not have jumped out and said, I'm not going to run. He would have waited to see what was going to happen. Because I promise you, he could have stood on this horrible tragedy and said, you need me to bring back the calm.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to bring federal, deploy the National Guard. I'm going to do all this. Go ahead.
You know what? Let's you and I make a prediction. Let's you and I shatter the echo chamber that is Minnesota public talking, whatever the hell we call it now, not broadcasting, but podcasting. What if he re-enters? What if he just says, you know what? Minnesota needs me.
Minnesota needs me.
Look at what's happening. Look at, as he called it, look at Trump's Gestapo and what they're doing to my state. I need to re-enter the race. Holy crap. What if that happens?
It's very, very, I think that's unlikely, but I guarantee you he would not have dropped out on Monday if this tragedy would have been.
He wouldn't have been told to drop out because we all know that that's truly what happened.
Who tells him? I was listening back to one of our shows because I just love listening to our shows.
You do.
And
you're a podcast junkie.
And you had said that the powers that be above him. Who are the powers that be above him?
If you really want to get deep sometime, I don't think we understand the magnitude of the machine that is behind all of this.
We need to get somebody in here to explain it. But okay,
everyone's afraid to. Why? The machine's the machine. Powerful.
Okay, so I know we got to break here in a little bit. I just wanted to let you know that I had a little bit of an experience, and I wanted to tell you about it because I think it's really funny. Okay. Jumping subjects. Now we're on to non-serious things.
Sure.
I had a colonoscopy, but it's not a colonoscopy because they go down your throat, endoscopy or something like that.
Hopefully they clean the tube.
Yeah, they put it, first of all, they put this thing in your mouth, like it's like a gag ball with a hole in it.
I've had one of those.
And they say bite down on it, and then the gal is putting the stuff inside my veins, and I slowly start to fade out, right? They go in, they scope me, I'm sure everything's fine, but whatever. That part's not the story. But I'm coming out of my anesthesia, and I'm just kind of out of it. What do you think the first words I say? Reavers, I cannot believe I said this.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me go into the brain of Mike Fredolini. So you're out of it. Were you dreaming?
I was totally out of it. I don't remember saying this. Don't remember anybody even coming in.
Were you dreaming a little bit?
First thing I said, the nurse comes in. My wife was there with me. The nurse comes in and says, how you doing? And I said, Assalamu alaikum. Why, Reavers? In my entire life, I don't think I've ever said the words Assalamu alaikum. I'm not even sure I'm saying it right.
Huh.
And my wife's like, did he just say Assalamu alaikum? And then she says, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. How are things? And I proceed to tell her about dreaming of large women.
Oh, Jesus.
My wife's like, the hell? And this is all on video, by the way. This is on video. So I start this story about dreaming of large women and someone named Leslie. And I'm watching the video thinking, the hell am I referring to? And then I realized that 2 days before, I'd watched The Princess Bride.
Jesus.
And in The Princess Bride, Wesley attacks Andre the Giant and knocks him out.
Yeah.
And says, dream of large women. I don't envy the headache you'll have in the morning. And I remember saying that line and laughing at it when I was watching The Princess Bride. In some magical way, when I come out of this haze of anesthesia, the first thing I say is, Assalamu alaikum, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And the second thing I say is, I was dreaming of large women because I remember the scene from Wesley in The Princess Bride. That stuff, thank God my wife didn't say, Mike, what do you think of the carpet color that I picked for our bedroom? Because I think I might have told her some. Yeah. My ability to lie there would have been pretty much zero.
Wow.
And she thought, she thought to herself, does he love large women? And I was like, no, I'm doing a skit.
Right.
I'm doing a bit from here. And then I also asked if I could hire them to come over to my house every day and put me to sleep because I often wear headphones and I don't want to do that anymore. So I thought whatever they injected in me, and they said that's the same stuff we injected into Prince. That didn't work out so well for Prince. And
No,
you
don't want that too much of
Maybe
that.
I don't wear. So that's what's happening in my brain.
That would be a good subject to get into, like, or maybe we pose it as a frat pack question, because I have one not as similar to that, but years ago, in fact, it was about 6 months before I got married, I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth pulled at the same time, and I was not working here. I was working at a couple of different places, but one of the places I was working was I was working for a delivery company. In addition to I had a full-time job, but I was doing this on the side to kind of save up some money for the wedding. And I was told, you got to have a driver. You can't just come in and get your wisdom teeth pulled and then. But I was literally working.
Yeah.
So I pulled the delivery van in. They yanked him out, sedated me, and yanked him out. Well, as I was coming to, I had started to sing "Sexy Back" by Justin Timberlake.
Oh, good.
At top volume.
Oh, good.
And I was
Okay.
entertaining the nurses and the masses and everyone. I don't remember. All I remember is everybody laughing.
Do you know why that correlated? Why that song?
At the time, it was like the number one song in the country.
Okay.
I'm bringing, and I had all that cotton in my mouth, and I was like, I'm bringing sexy back.
Oh, good. I think we should develop a company that does 2 things. Has a page where people are coming out of anesthesia because people love watching that, and then dogs pooping because people love watching dogs poop. Reavers, you are the best. You can have that idea by the way.
I thank you, Mike. You know what? That's how I'm going to become a millionaire. Okay. Thank you, Michael. Please do us a favor, rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. It helps others find the show. It helps us out as well, and we do appreciate each and every single one of you. His name is Mike Fratelloni. My name is Chris Reavers. Thank you so very much for listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. We'll talk to you again next time. Until then, cheers.